Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my new Corrosive Throw Carino build. It is Wilt, it is Erosion, it is the fastest build I have ever made. It took days and days and days of testing, but during stream last night I was showcasing what I came up with and everybody was asking questions, how did you do it? Well, today you are gonna find out. As always, we will cover every facet of this build and everything is timestamped in the description. If you need to bounce around, let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills I'm going to be using are Corrosive Throw, Spiral Strike, Bloodthirst, Aim, and Compound Potion. I will go down the breakdown and the supports for these skills during the next section. Are you ready? It's going to be speed, and we are off.
I'll need some time.
Oh, nothing that way.
I'll need some time.
And everything just pops.
Judged by a member of the Herman family.
Seriously, so much fun when you get into a good routine. It does take kind of a lot of focus because you almost move so fast that sometimes you run into harm's way a little too much. What did we miss? Get over here, you. We ran into another dead end. So honestly, if you're using Spiral, you stop, you pop, hit Corrosive Throw, and then everything explodes. Aim gives you ailment, Bloodthirst gives you attack speed.
I am the Sun King. I am the radiance of the sun.
Let's do another one. And we're off.
I'll need some time.
Can't touch this.
I'll need some time.
The enemies don't pop up fast enough.
It's your honor to be judged by a member of the Herman family. I need some time.
See what I'm saying about speed?
Violence is not the answer to all, but it is the answer to your sins.
And obviously right now I'm trying to prove a point how fast this build is. We could be a lot more safe. Full run done. Now you can pop your dark surges during the boss. It actually makes it way quicker. But for this test, I'm just gonna show you single target without doing that. Okay, so still pretty quick. Now here's the fun part, okay? You ready? Let's just go ahead. See if we can survive. Get them all out. 4, 5, 6. Uh-oh. All right, go. Anyone else? A lot of shiny stuff. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's check out the skills for this speed runner, starting with the main damage dealer, Corrosive Throw. What you want is added erosion damage, slow projectiles, because it has ailment, wind projectiles, because it has ailment, shortened duration, because it does extra dot, and reaping agony. Now, reap is so important for this build. Basically, what that means is it takes this all your dot damage and reaps a portion of that damaged out all at once, which gives you some huge damage numbers. And that's kind of how it helps the enemies pop I will showcase what really does that during the inventory gear portion. Moving over to the next skill, Spiral Strike. Now, Spiral Strike has Wilt chance on it and 50% physical damage to erosion, so it is perfect for this, and this is how we move so fast. You want quick mobility, precision strike, improved corrosion, and added erosion damage. Then you want Bloodthirst with Soul Focus, Bloodbath, and Mania. This is going to be for your attack speed. Aim, same 3, Soul Focus, Bloodbath, and Mania. And what's great about Aim is it has ailment damage stack buff on it as well. Last, as far as the active skills, Compound Potion with Berserk, cooldown reduction, and residues. Now, Berserk is going to give you a higher crit chance, and obviously this is not a crit build, but I'll explain in a moment why that is important. Looking at the passives, we have Deep Pain, Erosion Amplification, and Precise Projectiles. And lastly, we have Restraint. Now, this is not a skill that you can go buy from the vendor. This is something you have to find. So I had to purchase mine. It was super cheap through the trade house, okay? So if you're like, why can I not find Restrain? It is because you have to go to the trade house and snag it. That is how we're able to keep this. Look, Deep Pain is 40%. Erosion Amplification's 30%. Precise Projectiles is 40%. So those 3 alone are 110. It is because of Restrain. Moving over to Cast on Crit. Now, the reason why you want Berserk and that extra crit is because you do have some things that are happening. So on Cast on Crit, we have Shadow Swamp and Scorching Pulse with Restrain again. Now, Shadow Swamp is going to weaken enemies and it is going to do some erosion damage for you. And Scorching Pulse is really interesting. We don't care about fire. We don't care about spell. That does nothing for us. That being said, this skill does do something very interesting, and that is reap 1.25 of dot when this skill hits. So this is something that goes around you. So you will have to be pretty close to the target and critical hit them, and then the Scorching Pulse will go out and hit them. It is a great way to kill bosses. Last but not least, Curse on Hit. And I will show you that for this build, we are able to have 2 different curses. So here we have Corruption, we have Entangled Pain, and we have Abysmal Hatred. And this is sealed for life because we just have so much. We have so many passives that it was just impossible to do everything with the mana that we had. That is the skills. Moving over to the talents for this speed runner, what we have is Goddess of Darkness, Soulbender, and Psychic. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through Goddess of Darkness first. And I will slowly scroll through. Slowly. Okay. And back. All right. 10 points in. You want to take Plague. 40% chance to dot and spread to nearby targets. And at 20 points in, you want to take 35% additional erosion damage, cannot generate life. Okay. Moving over to Soul Bender. Scrolling. Scrolling. Feel free to stop the video to make sure you click correctly. Can't go through all these because the video would be way too long. And back. All right, 18 points in. You want to take Tainted Blood. It gives you huge damage for this build. And at 36 points in, you want to take Twisted Belief plus 3 erosion skills, -3 elemental skill levels. Who cares? That is perfect. Last but not least, Psychic. All right, here we go. Scrolling. Scrolling. All right, and back. Back. All right, and at 18 points in, you want to take Affliction. And at 36 points in, you want to take More with Less. Now, as you can see on here, it says Verbal Abuse. You can cast an extra curse we are going to get this for free through our gear. That is how we are able to have 2 curses. Those are the talents. Moving over to the hero traits for this Ranger of Glory. Now down here, you want Cataclysm. You want Improved Corrosion and Erosion Pierce. And then for the actual hero traits themselves, at 15, no option. At 32, top. 50, no option. 62, bottom. And 80, bottom. Easy. Those are the hero traits. So now let's move over to everyone's favorite, which is of course gear. Now, Wilt and Erosion is not a cheap build. That being said, this isn't thousands to build this out, but it will cost you hundreds of FE. I think right now I'm right around 200. So not crazy, but it's not like you're gonna build this on the cheap with only a couple, okay? So I'm just putting that out right now. And look at this Ranger of Glory. Ooh, ah. All right, I'm gonna go through the items one by one. Helmet. And on here you can see we are focused on evasion. 10,000 with resistances. Armor. We have an evil spirit armor. And what makes this so awesome is this right here. Adds 30% of skills erosion damage to base wilt damage. If you can get an evil spirit armor, make sure it has this affix on there. Just to be clear, it is not very cheap. Moving over to our Mist Amulet. Now, this one actually has an affix at the bottom where you can get a reap after 1 second. They cost hundreds of FE, so I was not able to get that, but you can get a decently good one on the cheap with still good stats. Gloves. You will see again another almost 10,000 evasion, life, and resistances. Belt. This is an infinity belt, and on here I was very lucky. I got life, mana, and then reaps with blur effect, which we have blur up all the time, and it has verbal abuse. You can cast an additional curse with 15% effect. So basically what I showed you inside of the talents, I'm getting that one for free and being able to curse 2 curses because of this belt. Find it. It is awesome. Now during stream, I was made fun of because we are also using feline steps. Yes, these are my ballet slippers for this build. Again, another 10,000 evasion. And on here, you will see gains 1 stack of agility blessing when reaping, 8% reaping cooldown when you have agility blessings, and you will have 5 or 6 stacks every single time. So great pair of boots and not super expensive. For our rings, there's so many options on rings. On here, I took reaping cooldown, I took affliction effect, and I took some resistances and evasion. On this one, ailment damage, mana resistances. Okay. And last but not least, we are on to our weapons. Now this weapon right here, repeated end. This is what makes enemies pop. And you'll see right here, Wilt targets defeated by you explode on death, dealing 50% of their maximum life as secondary erosion damage to nearby enemies. That's why when I kill one, they all explode. It is so much fun and so awesome. And this will cost you, I think, about 30 FEs, so not terribly expensive, and they are readily available. Last but not least is our other dagger. And on here, you will see physical damage. You'll see chance to mark with physical damage. You'll see main hand damage based on wilt. You will see crit. You'll see attack speed and reaps, okay? Now, these daggers are where things get expensive. You sometimes find them for 30, you could sometimes find them for 80, and you could sometimes find them for 5,000. I think this one right here cost me about 120, okay? So just know that some of these daggers get really, really expensive. That is my gear. Last but not least, let's talk pets. Now, I say this in all my build guides and videos. I have not spent 1 cent on pets, and I don't plan on it. That being said, I want to give you the full picture of what my build currently uses. Starting with our little yellowish Mike Wazowski. This is a persistent rare pet, which is the base level, and he is only level 2. And what this pet gives us is added affliction effect and dot damage. We then move down to our greedy chestnut. This is a level 1 epic pet. And what this one does gives us the exact same thing, affliction effect and ailment, or chance to cause ailments. Last but not least, our level 3 rare spiny snail. My pets are terrible. And this is a survival pet, and all I have here is basically elemental resistances. So, you know, when it comes down to it, whatever pets you have, if you have some that are persistent for dots, use that. If you don't have any of those, use survivability pets. Something that I forgot to mention earlier is around survivability. Now, for this build, obviously we are focused around evasion, and we have 94,000 evasion, which means 71% of the time we will dodge attacks. So a lot of the time when you're playing, it's like, I'm unstoppable. Now, that being said, when that 29% hits and you do take damage, it is going to feel like big hits. So under Goddess of Darkness, right here, we also have injury buffer. 10% delays a portion of the incoming damage in the next 4 seconds. This is going to save you all the time. So you're evading everything. Then when you do get hit, that damage is staggered. So just make sure you hit your potion. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my Corrosive Throw, Wilt, Erosion speedrunners? Is there something I missed? Is there something I could do to push this to the next level? Let me know in the comment section below. 2 asks at the end of this video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it. Really does help the channel as we move into 2023. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 50 members that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. Weekly blog post, weekly podcast, access to the VIP lounge so you can chit chat with me every day, special Discord title, and you get extra wheel spins every single month for custom merch. Congratulations, Exatheus, who won last month. And then based upon the tier, other goodies. Again, first link in the description. Hopefully you learned something or were at least entertained. Aaron, out.